Where I'm like, the game starts now, and then it goes like 5, 4, but I know I can't go. The game starts at 5 seconds, and then that thing. Yeah, but anyways, in the upper right, in the blue, our Finnish player, he is.
ENCE Esports, Serral.
A little bit frustrated with game 2.
In the bottom left, in the red, our Korean Protoss player, he is.
Makers, Classic.
Same team as Showtime, and that was kind of where I was getting that Roach build from, where I was sort of like, if Serral has Roach all in on this map a couple times, he's done it against Showtime a couple times, and also against Stats.
Okay, can I try to do what I was trying to do in the last game?
You can do whatever
you
want.
But then I realized I was not talking about a cannon rush. So if you guys are going to come to the studio, the tickets are being given away at 12 o'clock. You can only get one for each person, so you can't have one of your friends show up early and try to get 5 tickets. It won't work.
Yeah.
So come down. I do expect that it will be entirely filled up. So
yes, if these last few days are anything to go by, you will want to get here on time, get your tickets out for you and your friends, but make sure your friends are here.
Now, back into this game here.
Yeah, a bit of a weird start. You know, Classic going for a sort of a pylon in the main, maybe trying to force a drone pull or something like that, but Serral doesn't take the bait. And Classic is going for a pretty standard Nexus expand here.
Now, let's remember that we haven't had a conventional PvZ yet with these two. Both of them opened up in very different ways. Obviously, Game 2 speaks for itself, but Game 1, yeah, they were both trying to do these rushes. I would love to see a more traditional macro game PvZ with these two and kind of see what it really looks like.
Well, I don't know if Classic wants to see what a traditional PvZ against this kid looks like, because I think against Serral, convention is death. It looks like it is going to be a depth opening with a little bit of delayed warp gate, but that is because he's getting a robo nice and early here, Tasteless.
Yes. A very immediate robo. We will probably see War Prism and an Immortal coming out of that very soon.
Yeah, usually means a little bit of early game aggression, some variety.
Yeah, just trying to keep the Zerg on his toes.
Serral at the moment is going up to 3 bases here, so that that build that I was talking about before, he's done against a couple high-profile Protosses at a couple high-profile tournaments. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case at the moment. Scoping a link speed with expanding, getting a Queen production still up as well. Of course, as a Zerg, you generally don't want to cut the Roach Warren. You still get it later, because you could just die if you don't get it, and it's a cheap structure, so am still expecting that, but there's that Warp Prism Tassels.
Yes, there it is, Manny. Oh, look at this. Robotic support bay. Okay.
Okay. So, going to take a little bit more time before the Prism goes out there. He cancels the Prism, starts robotic support bay. And I wonder, is this going to be... It's either Disruptor or Colossus drop.
Yep, it's going to be one of those things.
No. To be brave would be to say Colossus drop, because part of me is thinking this, because I actually have seen this at a high level.
Yeah,
it's weird, it's unconventional, but Speed Prism Disruptor is probably the more safe call, I would say. Speed Prism Disruptor.
Well, it seems like the Speed Prism Disruptor would be much better to actually killing
workers, a lot cheaper,
right?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper and less memey, and I'm not sure you want to meme too hard on Serral.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to try to meme on Serral.
Not
to be
really.
totally honest.
And it is disruptive for speed, so there you go.
All right. So, now I don't know that Serral's anticipating this. I certainly was not. I thought we're going to have more of a straight-up build, but Classic does not want to play an ordinary game. And so we have the Overlord being driven out. And back over at the Zerg's base, I mean, it's pretty standard teching up for the time being. I mean, this is not uncommon. Unless the Zerg's doing something really dramatic, you're basically just getting drones and making sure that you have enough if they do attack you, you're not going to die.
Well, those drones probably going to be hurt a little bit here as the Prism returns. It's about half speed, and that Speed Prism will not be killed very easily by Serral. You're not going to be able to tag that with Queens too easily. It'll zip and zap around them, and that Disruptor is... It's either going to potentially be amazing for Classic or bad. There's very little middle ground when you go for this kind of opening.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to pay off. You need to make sure that Serral doesn't see it coming. 2 Disruptors here.
Yeah,
and then double Stargate. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there's that Colossus.
This is like... It's so important that this does something. It's very different from like 2 Immortals in a War Prism. You're like, that's fine. I'll use them in the end, the end game fight. This has to come in here and get some kills. And so what Serral needs to do is be ready before the drop even starts, like we're seeing right now. Uh-oh.
Oh, Nova's coming out here, so one queen goes down.
Oh my god, it launched it out of the main.
Certainly did.
So, you know, you're not really there to kill queens. I mean, you'll take them if you can get them right, but drones are the goal.
Yeah.
Again, now it's a speed warp prism is ridiculously fast, as we're already seeing here. And so he's going to try to chuck these in one more time.
Oh, God. Now, this is actually almost a PVT build, Tasteless.
Yes.
Going for, like, back in the day, Speed Prism Disruptor was a lot more popular, and then you would go, like, some Protosses would go straight into Colossus and Phoenix, which at the moment is kind of what Classic's doing right now. He's got a Colossus up, he's not getting extended Thermal Lance, he hasn't made any more just yet, but he is double Stargate Phoenixing at the moment. And Serral, he's made that Spire. So Classic, really nice read so far.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He got hit from both sides there. Serral's doing a pretty immaculate job of just keeping this from having any severe impact.
Oh, he's only lost one queen so far, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, you know, where Classic can take the game from here, because the Spire's going to finish, which means just War Prism, even if it has speed, can't really be part of the harass process.
If it has a defensive wing of like 8 Phoenixes.
Okay, that was weird. I don't know what that...
I mean, Classic is going full Stargate here.
One of those shots boomerang to the bottom and just didn't hit anything at all. It's funny because when you try to do this, it all happens so fast that, you know, I do appreciate that this is hard to pull off, but that did look pretty funny.
Oh, there goes those Phoenixes I was talking about. They can escort that War Prism around, harass mineral lines, pick off tons of Overlords. They really have tons of utility. And with Classic getting +1 attack, that means that he really wants an air army of Protoss here for pretty much the rest of the game.
Okay, nice catch. He's going to take out these 2 queens. And it's kind of an awkward moment here because Zerg went for mutas, and all of a sudden Classic has Phoenixes.
Yeah, this was deliberate from Classic. It was like, you're going to go Spire. I've seen how much you like Spire in this matchup in your last few ZVPs, because especially when you see this Warp Prism, you're going to be like, oh, I need mutas to chase that down, right? Well, now there's a ton of Phoenixes here, and Classic's air army is still owning the sky. He's got a few drones here as well. Now Serral, once again, throwing out Corruptors, but Classic's also switching gears and getting Void Rays, Tasteless.
That's pretty sick.
So this is a weird one.
Yeah. This is, you know, life gives you lemons, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead and use that Stargate tech.
Classic's making lemonade right
That's
here.
right, man. Now, with the tech getting a little bit funny, I'm excited to see what the next steps are, because we have the fleet beacon coming down. Now Blink is being upgraded, you know, in a later moment in the game. We have also the Disruptors comboed in with the Protoss army. I mean, if you were to just snapshot the unit compositions on both sides and just show this to a StarCraft player sometime in the future, they would be very confused as to what era of StarCraft this is in, because it doesn't look at all like what it's, I guess, quote-unquote, supposed to.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm wondering with his fleet beacon, does he go straight into something like carriers, or does he go into, I mean, Anion Pulse Crystals makes a bit of sense here. Serral still has those Mutalisks on the field, but still has a good number of Phoenixes. I'm waiting to see what he does with his fleet beacon. He's still making Void Rays here, which are just usually a pretty questionable unit for Protoss. You make them when you're about to die. Usually, they're like a death throw. But
I'm sorry. Did he scout the Void Rays? He doesn't know, right?
No, he doesn't know about the Void Rays, I don't think. But he definitely, you know, these
because the
Phoenixes,
thing is, Corruptors are now coming out here.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of Corruptors.
And the Corruptors are great against the Phoenixes. Void Rays are okay against Corruptors, so they definitely do bonus to Armored, and they can cut through Corruptor numbers pretty quickly, especially with some upgrades. But what I really like for Classic is that he's getting pretty much he's still making Colossi here, and the idea here is to have an air army that actually supersedes Serral's, so that your Colossus are safe and get to War of the Worlds their way through the creep and just win. Yeah, that Prism does have speed, so it is zipping away from those Corruptors.
Yeah, nice play there, and I love how he swings in with these Phoenixes. Absolutely, if the Corruptors are chasing your War Prism, you can come in here and get some free kills. And that really shows how reactive Classic is, because I think a lot of other players just would keep the Phoenixes back at home. Yeah. But he knows, okay, but if you're chasing that, I can come in here and punish. How many Void Rays do we have? I don't think Shines showed us the
looks like maybe 8
number tab here, but this is going to get a little bit awkward. Now, that being said, if there's a ridiculous amount of Corruptors, he might just win the air fight anyways, and it's like, yeah, that's why they don't make those normally.
Classic's, like, this might work for Classic, but it feels so weird. He's getting, like, he got a fleet beacon that he hasn't done anything with yet. Maybe he gets a Mothership Lady. He's getting a Templar Archives as well for Storm. He's getting everything in the kitchen sink here for the Protoss. Meanwhile, Serral's is sort of getting a lot of Corruptors, getting a lot of Ravagerling Bane, which is a composition that you can definitely see time and time. Especially considering it becomes Broodlords later when you get to Ward's Hive.
Right.
Oh, this Colossus on his own a little bit there. Going for the Warp Prism, doesn't quite get it. These Void Rays with Prismatic Alignment really do need to be respected. The Bile's coming down. Oh, no micro from Classic. He's actually taking a little bit of damage there.
Yeah. So he sees the Void Rays. The thing about the Void Rays is it's not like it's an easy units comp to move across the map here. So I guess now we have to see what Serral's answer is to this.
I think it's just going to be more Corruptors, man.
I think that's what you have to do. You basically try to completely annihilate their air army, and then, you know, you can ooze down their buildings, the Nexuses, or other key structures here.
Serral trying to go for a run by here. The Colossi going to make that a little bit more difficult. Serral still doing some damage up at this new Nexus for Classic to the north side.
Serral actually engaged a little bit incorrectly there. The Lings are blocking the Banelings. I think he could have actually gotten a little bit more done there.
The Void Ray's getting a couple Corruptors there, but also a Void Ray and a Colossus go down during that scuffle, and those are some expensive units for Classic, and once again, it's not like Classic has a ton of money in this game. Serral still, after all that Phoenix player, after the weird Prism stuff with the Disruptor, still has a healthy economy and still has a great number of bases, and this Ling run by, I mean, he could stop Storm here.
Oh my god, this actually would be crazy. Hold on.
No. Okay, it just finishes. God. No way, because otherwise Classic's going to be waking up in the middle of the night screaming, "It's unfair!
No,
it's unfair!" He's going to have nightmares about that Templar Archives for the rest of his life.
It's unfair.
Shooting up in his bed in a cold sweat, just like, oh! All right, the army of Serral being chased down by Classic here. He does have a good number of Void Rays.
Whoa.
Yeah, easy. Easy,
hey,
Tiger.
buddy.
Easy, Tiger. Hey, buddy. This is serious.
It's not how you're going to get to the finals.
This Ling run by pretty nice, but this army of Classic can be stopped. It's so powerful.
Classic is kind of in the same position he was in the last game, where it's like he needs to push. I'm sorry, the first game where he needs to push out and actually get a kill here, because otherwise Serral's just going to outgrow him. And also Serral's making this look pretty easy by actually counterattacking constantly. This Nexus is going to go down.
Yeah, well, he's making this more of a commitment, but Classic's army still is extremely scary here, Tasteless. There's no Broodlords at the moment for Serral. He does have some Vipers, so he can yoink some things into his bowl of Corruptors or Ravagers, perhaps. But with lack of Broodlords, I'm a little worried. There is still, like, a lot of Storms here. The Colossi are laser beaming things down. The air army, obviously, is the biggest threat, so it makes a bit more sense. Maybe get some Parasitic Bombs on the Void Rays when they stack up would be nice as well. But it is tough.
Okay, here we go. Some more Disruptor shots coming in.
Oh, Viper kill right there as well.
Classic trying to sink his teeth in here, but so many Banelings pushing this back. Great fungals there on the air army.
Yeah, the Void Ray count getting a little bit low, even neuling a couple Void Rays, setting them against their brothers and sisters here. The Corruptors are still alive. The Stalker reinforcements from Classic, though. He does have Blink, remember, so he's going to be able to chase down some of these Corruptors and push him back.
But, you know, what's in these eggs? I mean, once this army refills, I don't see... Yeah, the Warp Prism was just killed off, so what you see is what you get.
Pretty much. Oh, some Storms going down those Lings. Serral bringing in some of those Queens from the main base. There is still more Lings on the way here. Does he actually have enough to fight back?
Blink actually gets ridiculous in moments like this because everything is so low. Again, no reinforcements here, but Stalkers being blinked against a very small number of units can do an incredible amount of damage. Infested Terrans are going to come in here, but I think he can actually blink either to the right or down. There we go. Going down and continuing to hit these workers.
Okay.
It is we're not getting a shot of it, but something is killing off a lot of Classics. Oh, hold on. Classic is...
Yeah, there we go. Classic coming in from the south there. On top of that Spine Crawler with a lot of Zealots, which makes a ton of sense because there's nothing but the Zerglings here for Serral, only a handful of Roaches. But the Roaches are handling the Zealots, the Lings are handling the Stalkers, the Corruptors are handling the Warp Prism. Like, this looked like Classic almost had him, but he didn't have him. Serral still has 40 more army supply.
Now hold up, another Warp Prism's coming in. I think he was a little bit too cavalier with how he sent that in there, and so you can immediately have these Corruptors come back and try to chase that across the map. Classic had a pretty impressive surplus of gas, so he spent that all on what I believe is about to be Archons they should be making now. Or no, they're not, I guess.
Well, I mean, Archons, I think would actually not be a terrible idea, considering he's up against a lot of Corruptors, but
looks like he wants to just try to use a Storm. I thought he was going to make a bunch and try to push across, but...
I mean, it's hard to read, man, because what Classic is doing right now is very not kosher. You don't see this in PvZ. This is a very, very strange thing. You see it in the lower leagues. And Classic is very, very far from that. He's an extremely good player. He's one of the best players in the whole world. So he's going for something very strange to trick Serral, which I love, but it just seems like he hasn't actually managed to end the game yet. Like, that's the problem. Serral's starting to recover a bit here.
I actually am a little bit worried here for Serral. This army from Classic is actually pretty good. I mean, he's got a lot of Storm, he's got a lot of Archons. He has War Prism, he has War Prism speed, which is even more handy when it comes to the juggling. And, you know, Serral's army was, in the last major fight, was pretty sophisticated. This time around, I mean, he's really trying to start from scratch here.
Yeah, I'm with you there. A nice little micro trick there from Classic.
Oh my God, I almost choked up my water.
Well, this Prism going down. Good catch from Serral. I mean, it was cute stuff from Classic using the Archons to splash damage to get those Burrowed Banelings, but that was definitely a much better catch. The Spine Crawler slowing down these Zealots some, but the drones are definitely going to take a little bit of damage here. Serral managed to recover a little bit economically, but it's still not great for the Zerg. However, he still has a good number of Infestors. He's replenishing that number, and the longer the game goes, the more energy those Infestors are going to have. And Great Aspire, just moments away from finishing, Tasteless.
Yes, Maynard. Classic is going to be able to keep this base on the far left for a long time. We're on much more even footing. And, you know, that was a pretty action-packed big fight we had back there. But since that, they've basically just gone back to lick their wounds and rebuild and start over here.
A little bit. Good pullback there from Classic, not taking any probe damage. Just denying a little bit of mining time is Serral. So he's just basically trying to keep the Protoss on his side of the map while he gets the Spellcasters up, gets his air upgrades. Broodlord's soon to morph as well. He just doesn't have a ton of minerals in the bank because of the, lots of the early damage from Classic where he rolled through one of his bases, killed a lot of drones. Mothership on the way here for Classic, and with those Tempests, using that Fleet Beacon to good effect. This is kind of the army that you want as a Protoss. It's like a lot of air units, Mothership, that sort of thing, Storms, Spellcaster units. But I just don't remember the last time Serral got to this part of the game and lost. Is what I'm worried about here for Classic, even though things look all right on paper here.
I think this game's actually going to go on for a much longer period of time here. I don't see any end in sight unless someone really screws up an attack. By the way, we want to watch and see how the Psy Storms connect and then also how the Fungals connect. Because one or two good Fungals, and you can start to chain that. And then you can even use the Corrosive Vials and do a lot of damage. Also, Serral is leading up into Broodlords.
Yeah, Broodlords getting those Zealots dealt with here on the low ground. That Prism zipping past some Lings. Serral did see it. He tried to get it with the Corruptors, but he actually missed it there. And a cancel on that hatchery thanks to these Tempests of Classic. Oh, Prism getting dealt with. The Warp In did not get to finish. Serral really on top of dealing with the harassment of Classic. And he is just getting further and further to what a lot of people would consider it to be an unbeatable Zerg army.
There it is.
Mama's coming.
Mothership. Gonna find out if Serral has mom issues or not. This is gonna move him to the lower right.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, man.
Never seen
cool
it.
Little dome in there. Oh, hold on, here we go. All right, oh, good Neurals.
Yeah, Neurals going down.
This is a very awkward exchange here.
Well, Gravity and Archons are fantastic. They do that splash damage against stacked up units. There's a lot of stacked up Void Rays in that army there, and Serral can also pull those into his Zerg units and kill them for pretty much just energy. So
he made that look so easy.
Yeah, and he scared Classic off. Like, Classic's on, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Infestors. Well, I wanted the game to end before this, but unfortunately, now I have to deal with it. I actually wouldn't hate it for Classic to start making Disruptors again, because stats showed a little bit of hope in dealing with the Infestors at Summer Assembly, but I don't know, man.
I
tough.
think you make a really good point, because he could actually use a Disruptor shot and kill the Infestor that snarled the Archon.
Well, even just launch them into the Infestors so that if they want to go for Neurals, it's a commitment, and he has to lose Infestors for it.
How would Zerg ever attack across this? Look at this. Like with Tempest here, like seriously?
Yeah, it's tough. You gotta have a good number of Corruptors to be able to delete the Tempest from the sky, and that's a lot of Tempest Classic. They have +1 attack, and Classic's starting to make some carriers now. Ooh, getting some Broodlord kills. This is a nice move from Serral, just grabbing a bunch of the Roaches.
Oh, this is actually pretty big.
Yeah, they're not really useful anymore as far as a fighting force against what Classic has, so using them for economic harassment, great stuff.
Whoop.
Yeah,
get back there.
Coming home, wants to cloak that Nexus. No detection for Serral.
Yeah, but what about this, man?
What about that Tempest?
Yeah,
what about these Oracles?
Yeah,
what about these Oracles, Tasteless?
And now he can actually get in over here.
Yeah.
I think Serral is actually making this look almost too easy. It's kind of crazy.
That was...
so now he's actually gotten through the green crap in that narrow area so we can actually move very freely. And suddenly these Tempests are looking a lot less intimidating.
Yeah, he's going to drop a lot of Infested Terrans and Neurals and Fungals here. Every spell the Infestor has, getting a few of those Tempest kills, and Mother returns, but a lot of her babies have gone down, unfortunately. She recalled back at home to save it, but left so many expensive Tier 3 Protoss air units there. These Stalkers,
where are these Stalkers
running
from?
past them.
The Stalkers came
like,
out of
really
another game there. How did they
Lords.
get from that angle? I don't even understand what's going on here.
Oh, this is a weird one. The
They're like,
carriers,
hi, we came out of the Zerg's larva, or the Zerg's eggs.
Serral grabbing the Mothership to cloak his army. There is actually no detection for Classic. This is so crazy.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is one way to do it.
Yeah, this is definitely one way to skin a Protoss.
Look at this.
Look at
They're
this.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
Damage slowly being taken. Eventually the Corruptors come over there.
I've learned that
Mothership is now cloaking the Zerg army.
carriers are really crap against other carriers.
Yeah, they are. It's very awkward watching carriers attack each other. You know, there's something compared to the pacing of all other fights in Starcraft 2. That has a different feel to it. So,
well, that Zealot run by, I think he got a couple Infestors, but really not consequential. Serral is up almost 90 supply here, and I think the bell tolls for Classic here, Tasteless. I think he's well and truly in a bad spot here.
Again, this is sort of Serral just showing how he can bend the game to his will. He's such an impressive player, and I thought Classic really had a good shot, but Serral so easily outpositioned him. It's actually happening again here now. He is going to come over. He's going to take out this Nexus here.
Yep.
We see Classic at the same time is under threat. In the center left base, the top left base has actually been taken, and Serral might miss out on that, but I would just imagine as time passes, he should be able to identify that as well.
Time has passed and he has identified it. His units are already attacking it here. I mean, Classic's trying to stick around this game, but it's pulling a rabbit out of a hat to try and make this magic trick happen. It's just, it's all Zerg right now. That's a Nexus killed on a cancel, stuff that Classic cannot afford. Everything's going wrong for him right now. He does not actually have an army that can win this game anymore.
He doesn't even have any control of circulation points. I mean, this is an easy closer here for Serral.
Yeah, he's just being so careful. He just doesn't want to throw the game away. So
he's just going to move this.
A lot of people are shaking their screens going, kill him! Serral is playing a tournament right now for tens of thousands of dollars and is just taking his time, making sure that Classic goes down clean.
Okay, here we go. Coming forward. This is it. Classic has to make this fight work, and I do not know that he can do it. As you can see, the Tempests are really the only thing that's remaining here. The Templars have already used their energy, and